Raymond Burr is remembered as one of Hollywood's most respected actors, but behind his public image was a life full of secrets and lies. For decades, Burr spun a story about his tragic past, claiming he had been married multiple times and even had a son who died young. But what if everything we thought we knew about Burr was a carefully constructed illusion? In reality, none of it was true. Burr created a web of fabrications to keep his private life hidden from the public, and it worked. No one questioned him. As he gained fame, Burr's public narrative seemed almost too tragic to be real. He spoke of losing his wife in a plane crash and his son to leukemia, but no records existed to confirm these stories. And yet, Hollywood believed him. His career was built on these stories, which painted him as a man who had suffered great losses. The truth, however, was much darker. Raymond Burr was hiding his real life from the world, a life that would have destroyed his career if the public had known. The shocking part? Even after his death, the fabricated stories lived on. His obituary, printed in major newspapers like the New York Times, repeated the same lies about his family. For years, Burr had convinced everyone from journalists to Hollywood insiders that his tragic past was real. But when his will was finally opened, it revealed a completely different truth, one that would leave the public reeling. The truth about Raymond Burr's life finally surfaced after his death, and what was uncovered left everyone stunned. In his will, Burr made a shocking revelation. He left his entire $32 million estate to Robert Benvides, a man who had been by his side for over 30 years. This wasn't just a business partner or a close friend. Robert was Burr's secret partner, someone he had shared his life with in private, away from the prying eyes of the public and the media. For years, Burr had carefully hidden the true nature of his relationship with Benvides, portraying a completely different narrative to the world. To protect both his career and his personal life, he had invented multiple fake marriages and a fictional son, all while secretly living with the man he loved. The will was a final act of defiance, a last declaration of the truth after decades of lies. When the public learned that the entirety of Burr's estate went to Benvides, it was a revelation that no one could have predicted. This bombshell shocked the public and shattered the carefully constructed image that Burr had built over his career. The idea that Burr had been hiding such an important part of his life, and that the truth was only revealed through his will, left many wondering what else had been hidden in plain sight. Burr's public persona, shaped by years of deception, was finally exposed for what it truly was, a masterfully crafted lie. Raymond Burr's lies didn't stop at his relationships. He created elaborate stories about his family, his past, and even his career that kept Hollywood and the public in the dark for decades. Burr claimed that he had been married multiple times and had a son, Michael, who tragically died of leukemia. He even described a year-long road trip he took with his son before his death. These heartbreaking stories were told with such conviction that no one thought to question them. The truth, however, was far from tragic. There was no son, no wife, and no family tragedy. The lies weren't just about his personal life. Burr also fabricated his military service. He claimed to have served in World War II, being injured in Okinawa, and awarded the Purple Heart. These stories were repeated in interviews, books, and articles for years. But there was no record of Burr serving in the military, and the heroic tales of war injuries were completely made up. Burr's need for these fabricated stories wasn't to impress his fans. It was a survival mechanism in Hollywood, where being openly gay could have destroyed his career. What's most shocking is how these lies were not just accepted but believed. The press, Hollywood insiders, and even biographers repeated these fabrications without ever questioning them. Burr had created such a believable narrative that the public didn't need proof. His career thrived because of these lies, and no one dared to dig deeper into his personal life. But the truth eventually came to light, and it painted a completely different picture of the actor and his life. For over 30 years, Raymond Burr lived a double life, one that was known only to a few. While he played the part of a tragic widower on screen, the reality was far different. In 1960, Burr met Robert Benvides, a young actor, on the set of Perry Mason. Their friendship quickly grew into something deeper, but they had to keep it hidden. At that time, Being openly gay in Hollywood could end an actor's career, and Burr's carefully constructed image would have been destroyed if anyone found out the truth. Behind the scenes, Burr and Benvides built a life together, but this life was kept in complete secrecy. They shared a home, a business, and a deep bond that lasted for decades, but to the world, they were just colleagues. Burr's carefully managed public persona, which included stories about fake wives and children, was designed to shield his real life from the public eye. He couldn't risk being open about his relationship, so instead, he chose to live in the shadows, protecting not just his career but his safety. The lengths Burr went to in order to maintain this secret life were extreme. Not only did he invent fictitious family members, but he also pushed Benvides out of the spotlight. They created successful businesses together, including an orchid farm and a vineyard, but none of this success was ever shared publicly as a couple. Burr had carefully built a life of privacy, a world where they could escape the pressures of fame. But the truth, once revealed, shocked the world and left many to wonder how they had missed the signs all along. After Raymond Burr's death, the truth about his life slowly began to unravel. Journalists, who had once written about his fabricated family and heroic military past, started digging deeper into the stories Burr had told the world. The result was a shocking revelation. Nearly everything about his personal life had been a lie. The marriages, the son, and the war hero status. All of it was invented. The media, which had once taken Burr's word as truth, now had to reckon with the reality that they had been deceived for decades. As the truth surfaced, Burr's legacy was called into question. For years, he had been seen as a beloved star with a tragic past, but now the public had to reframe everything they knew about him. His carefully constructed image of loss and sacrifice was replaced by the truth, a man who had concealed his true identity to survive in an unforgiving Hollywood. The revelation that Burr had lived with Robert Benvides for over 30 years, while maintaining a fake persona, was a turning point for how the world viewed the actor. But despite the lies, Burr's impact on Hollywood remained undeniable. His work, especially in Perry Mason and Ironside, left a lasting legacy. While the public now knew the truth about his private life, it did not diminish his contributions to television and film. The shocking revelations about Burr's personal life served as a reminder of the lengths celebrities go to protect their privacy and how the truth can often be more dramatic than the lies they tell. Raymond Burr's life was a masterclass in secrets and deception, leaving the world with more questions than answers.